Welcome. In this video, I'm going to analyze this little data set using the pivot table, and also I will try as much as possible to use the Power Query to clean the same data set after being copied and pasted in a value form. So what do I mean by this? I wanted to show you the dynamism in using Microsoft Excel, Power Query, and the likes. So the flexibility is there. So if I go onto the pivot table range, I still want it to exist in this worksheet. So that's why I'm using existing worksheet. I press OK. Here I can easily analyze the department, drag to the row. I can check the salary of each of those departments, and I can also look at what does this has to tell us, yes, in terms of the gender. So how can so this is the data set on its own, and if I want the data set back, I just need to double click on this grand total twice. 1, 2. So once I do it, you have the data set back. Once you click on that grand total, you have that value back. Now, what in case I didn't have the data set directly from the, I didn't have the analysis directly from the data set. So if I have this, how can I clean this? So I copy and paste the same thing here. So, and I want to get back the original data that give this amount. So how can I clean this in Power Query? So that is the purpose. In cleaning this, we're going to use at least 3 major techniques: the use of promoting headers, the use of transpose, and the use of unpivot other columns. So let's go ahead and see. So this is the data set I want to clean using Power Query. I'm going to convert it to a table format by pressing Ctrl T. In this case, I will make sure my table doesn't have headers, and then I will go to my data tab, and I will click on I will click on the table range. You can see from the table range. So when I click on that, I'm going to have the so-called Power Query editor. So in this Power Query editor, what do I want to do? And you can also notice a kind of apply steps and the name of the data set. So I don't need the grand total column. I'm going to remove it, and I don't need the grand total row. So I'll just go to remove row, which is remove bottom row. So how many row at the bottom? Which is only 1, and I'm going to remove it. So with this, I can now promote the headers. You can see we have column 1, column 2, column 3. I need to promote the headers so that the sum of salary will go up. So how do I do that? I'll come here and click on use first row as headers. And with this, it makes sense to be able to analyze this data. So, and for me to be able to continue with this and use unpivot other column, which is under the transform, you can see it here, unpivot other column, I must make sure that the first column is having text or true, why other columns have numeric values. So to do this, I still need to promote these headers once again by using use first rows as headers. And this time around, you can see that I have the first row having the list of the department, and I also have the male and the female and the male gender. So in this case, I can now use unpivot columns. So unpivot other columns, you go in this form, and now you can see I can now rename this as department. I can short it in this form. I can write it in full. Department. The attributes will be the gender, and finally I will have the value to be salary. So now I can load this into, by going to the home tab, I can just load, close and load to. So let me load it here in this existing worksheet. So I will just input it here and I will click on OK. And now, boom, we have it. You can see now we now have the data. So, and if you can fact check whether what you have done is right by looking at the total here under the salary, by using your to see whether the value you got is it the same as the value from the original output data, which is this. So you can see that it is the same. It's the same. So right click here, the pivot table, the number using 1000 separator, and you can see that we have the same value, 9,201,000. So the same thing here, 9,201,000. So with this, we have been able to establish that I've been able to create a 3-column data set from the given set that looks more concise for further analysis. So this is how to use Power Query for data cleaning, which involve promoting headers and unpivot other columns. In some other situations, you might need to come up with a transpose. Yeah, you might need to take a transpose. But in this short form, you can see what has happened in the data set. You can see what has happened in the data set. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.